All right, we will get started. Good evening, everyone. My name is Henry Rondon. I am the CIAC liaison for the indoor track season. Welcome, everyone, to our 2024-2025 season and our coaches meeting for the year. Again, we will have our chairs for the committee do a welcome and go over some individual items. We will also have Ron Knapp, who is our liaison with athletic.net. I'll go over some important items that you should look at. Again, the meeting is being recorded and we will post it on the CIAC page as quickly as we can. So again, on behalf of CIAC staff, I'd like to welcome everyone to our meeting and like to welcome everyone to the 2024-2025 season. Very simply, we appreciate the work that you do with student athletes every day. Again, understanding that in education-based sports, that you are an extension of the classroom, what you do every day, and should be appreciated. Of course, you work very diligently with these student athletes to make them the best that they can be, and really to show them paths of different possibilities that they can do, that they can, of course, do more than they probably think that they can do, which is great. And obviously for those individuals who are going to go beyond the high school venue, that you, of course, are preparing them as well as you can. So again, on behalf of CIAC staff, we appreciate what you do. Continue the hard work you do with student athletes every day. And we are looking forward to seeing you out there. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce one of our chairs, Dr. Anna Mann from the District of Brookfield. Go ahead, Dr. Mann.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Henry. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this season, the 24-25 indoor season.
We're gonna make shit
And
up
as
about that. Right.
Henry
Let's face
said
it,
earlier,
they saw a shinier piece.
Henry, do you want to
That doesn't
mute
do
everybody?
this performance. He was winning 10 games every.
All right, thanks. And as Henry said earlier, thank you so much for all that you do. I've been a lifelong public educator. I am a product of public education and part of, I also began my competitive athletic career in high school with indoor track. So I appreciate all that those experiences did for me, both in high school and beyond. I actually just had my 20th reunion for the Olympic Games that I was a part of in 2004 this past summer. My family and I went to the 2024 Games, so that was fun to have a little bit of a homecoming for the Olympics, and I could not have made that part of my life and my life story without Stanford High School track and field. So thank you for everything that you do and everything you will do for our students and our student athletes. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my co-chair and really the real chair, Don Friedman. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. I don't have the accolades of my co-chair, so my only accolade is that I've been chairing or co-chairing this committee since it was formed. So I guess that's my accolade. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention, in case you had not heard, the passing of legendary St. Bernard's coach Doug Sharples a few weeks ago. Not only was he an outstanding coach, but someone who was only willing to share his expertise with other coaches, and also served this indoor track committee right up until last year. So if you'd like to know more about Doug, you certainly can Google his obituary and honor the man probably by doing so. I have been asked to share with you a few items. One is how we do the divisional makeup. Many coaches wonder how that is done. Dave Tetlow from Ledyard has been working on the divisional makeup ever since day one. It's a tedious task. He goes through the results from the year before for both genders, tabulating number of athletes that competed in all of the class meets. He then gets a number of those athletes, divides it by 4, which is the number of classes we have, to try and get an equal number of athletes at the 4 meets, so that all 4 meets hopefully will run approximately the same amount of time. So that is the basic format, and that's how the divisions are arrived, using the enrollment numbers that are posted well, they're not posted in October, but they're due in October 1st, probably, well, but it's based on the enrollment numbers from the year before. As you know, you can request to move up a division if you would like to have both genders in the same division. And that due date is on Friday. So if you haven't already done so, please do so by Friday. So that's how the divisions are arrived. And again, a big thank you to Dave Tetlow for doing it all these years. There was a request to use en route times. The committee didn't discuss it very long because it's already in the packet that we do not allow en route times. The committee discussed it last year or the year before when it was then put in the packet. I think the committee felt that there was ample opportunities to run the standard distances, to not have to rely on route times. It also might complicate the seating situation, and in recent years with the use of ANET, the seating has been done as fairly as possible. Not like in the old days where we didn't have some software like ANET to verify the performances. So, and the last item I was asked to talk about was just to mention in the field events, normally we alternate back and forth which gender competes in which of the field events. But because we need to do the girls' shot always first for safety reasons, the committee decided that we will always have 2 boys and 2 girls events starting each year, which means it's not going to be always the following year that gender goes second. So we will just do a rotation of sorts, but we will always have 2 boys and 2 girls events starting in the field events going forward. So that's all on my agenda, and I'll now turn the meeting over to Gail.
Thank you, Don. And thank you, Henry, for inviting me to address the indoor track and field coaches and the ADs for another exciting indoor track and field. For those of you who don't know, I am the chairperson for cross-country track and field for AAU for the state of Connecticut, but I'm also the CT USATF officials recruitment chair. So me interloping in your meeting is pretty gratuitous for us as you know, 2 entities, but I wanted to really remind you guys 2 things. One, that AAU exists still, and to say publicly thank you for allowing me, Henry, last year, because based on your efforts and people wanting to get involved in AAU and USATF, it made my life a lot easier last year. So I want to thank also individual coaches for stepping up based in the meeting. I want to say thank you to Coach Gary Moore and Michelle Moore for assisting me in being the site host for the AAU CT District Qualifier meet last June. It was a great success. We have have almost 300 athletes, and they were up there sweating and doing everything to do before I even got there. And the Hill House was incredible. I also want to thank the following coaches for supporting the first ever CTAAU spring summer technical training camp for track and field this past July. It was 4 Fridays in a row at night, so having kids come out for that. So thank you, Coach Yvonne Grimes, for assisting and coordinating it at the Bethel Training Center. I want to say thank you to Coach Sasha from St. Joseph's Trumbull, coaches from Bunnell, coaches from Pomperog, the Massac coaches. Special thanks to Coach Rob Murray and for sending people, the Windsor coaches, and also we had Quinnipiac College send some people as well as other various middle schools. I do want to also give my shameless thank you to, again, Coach Rob Murray for helping me because this is the first year I ever did a district meet for cross country. And him and his son, his 9-year-old son, came out on sweltering heat days and helped me mark 5 separate courses. So we had a very successful cross country season with it culminating at Terrawell Park with the athletes doing that. But really, most importantly, and last but not least, on the AAU side, I want to thank my 2 buddies, Jeff and Bill from New Canaan, for always saying yes for whatever I hunt them down for, and helping me with timing, starting, officiating, reffing for all the AAU events that we've had. And also helping me on a middle school level too with timing and marking courses and doing all those things. So many, many thanks. So now I'll put on my USATF hat, and I want to again say, based on Henry's invitation last year for spring and helping me evangelize that we need USATF certified individuals, we got some, but we still need more. We had several individuals come by and say, okay, I'm interested in knowing more about it and also getting certified over the past year. Yesterday, I will say that we had the annual CT officials meeting at the CIAC office, hosted by none other than Yvonne Grimes. And I love these people, the smartest, the most enthusiastic human beings led by, Yvonne and company. And she always says that if you become a USATF official, you get great seats, you get to watch some incredible performances that will be seen on a national level, but you also get to get paid to do this. So it's always a really nice benefit to do that. So with that said, I want to make sure that I let you guys know that we're still recruiting for officials. I'm here to help anybody and everybody, and I'm sure Yvonne and all the other individuals that are USATF officials, like Coach Sasha, like Coach Bill, and company, that will help you guys get certified. But all I'm asking again is just call me, let me know, one, if you guys want to help on AAU events, because we got people helping on that. And then once you become a USATF official, then I can certify you as an AAU official as well, which is, again, something we started last spring as well due to popular interest. So, Henry, I don't know if you want to put my contact information out in the chat room or something like that, but really, we love having the coaches come out. We love having parents come out. And we also have a junior apprentice program where we can have athletes. Yesterday we had 3 athletes come out that were our college, high school students and college students that are becoming certified. So with that said, once again, I thank everybody who's helped in the past on the AAU side as well as USATF side on the high school level. And Henry, I thank you for your unselfishness in letting me talk, and I'll see all you guys on the track.
Very good. Thank you, Gail. Thank you for that plug there. Again, we are always looking for officials. So please, I will put her information on the chat. Please reach out to her if you are looking to be an official. And Gail, if you want to add more to your, actually, you can just put your, whatever information you want, you can put it in chat and they will see it. All right. Very good. Thank you again for that. And we will move on to our rules portion of the meeting. So we'll introduce Yvonne Grimes, who will go over any rule changes that we have for the 2024-2025 season. So Yvonne, take it away.
Thanks, Henry. We have a few rule changes and a few clarifications from rules that came out last year. We have adjusted the recall time that starters can recall a race from 100 meters to 50 meters. That's very clear indoor because it's the first turn, but it will flow into outdoor as well, that after 50 meters, it is the responsibility of the umpires to make any calls. Also, we are clarifying exchange zones. Athletes must be still in their zone before the exchange is initiated. We find a lot of athletes are hopping around, hopping in the zone, out of the zone, in the zone. I know they're excited about their exchange, but they need to establish themselves solidly inside the zone. If they are outside the zone at all during the race or while the race has started, the team will be disqualified. So that was made very clear at national. We also have added, and I know some officials have done it on the high school level, it is now mandatory to give a 15-second warning, either verbally or by flag or by a flashing light to the athletes in the field events. So in their 1 minute that they have to initiate their event, a 15-second warning flag will be given when there's 15 seconds remaining in their event. And now that is, it was always NCAA, always USATF, and now it is National Federation as well. We've also clarified that if two athletes decide to stop in a jump, the pole vault or the high jump, and they decide to keep it as a tie and not further the competition into a tiebreaker, they are allowed to do that. We've had it in the past that meet directors did not allow for ties for first place, but now in the National Federation rules that jump offs do not have to happen. Sometimes athletes have done several events and it's the heat of the day or they're just tired and they just decide that a jump off isn't to their benefit and they're allowed to tie. So no penalty is given if they make that understanding. Also, if one decides to leave the competition, the other will take first place, and then the person who decided not to continue will take second place. So again, no penalty will be given if the athletes decide that. In the rules, there is a further clarification. People are always asking how Five Alive works. Well, if a meet is using Five Alive or they're using a continuing flight going straight through, that is explained a little bit more in the vertical jump section of the rule book. And the rule books now are available on the National Federation site. We use them in our meeting, as Gail said yesterday, as officials to take the National Federation review. So coaches can purchase those online. I think you're also getting, your ADs will also have access to them. Some clarification for events. We've allowed now that fingers in the throws can be taped, but they must be taped individually. But we have found in the past year that some athletes are mummifying their fingers, making them huge in the fact of taping them to the point where they're very large. By doing this, they're getting tremendous throws from the support that these fingers are giving. So you have to understand that an official will call the athlete to remove the tape if it's excessive. So fingers can be taped individually, but it cannot be an excessive tape to their fingers. There was also a lot of talk on the extraneous motion in a start coming out of blocks. The rule last year clarified to starters that a false start will not be made unless a hand or a foot leaves the ground before the gun. Well, they found in this past year that athletes are rolling through after set into the start. Their hand and foot are not leaving the ground, but they're definitely gaining an advantage in rolling themselves into the start. Well, now at set, you must be still at set, and any motion after set that disrupts the field or shows that you are gaining an advantage in moving forward in the start will be called. So a little bit more detail in the event of calling a false start. I think that is the last one. I went through recall. There's also another one that we will see that some invitationals are allowing athletes to run as much as 6 events, even though our indoor rule is 3 events, outdoor 4 events. But there are invitationals and associations in the country Texas being one of them, that are allowing athletes to do 6 events. So it is really the call of the meet director at an invitational, and the association, as in Connecticut, allowing only 3, to call the number of events an athlete's allowed to do up to 6 events. So you may see that, and that is allowed. I think that's it.
Thank you, Yvonne, for all that information. Again, if anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat. Again, we will continue. So, Yvonne, we have one here. Hi, I'm just wondering why we're using 20-meter exchange zones in all relays. The NFHS book states in relays with legs of 200 meters or less, each exchange zone, which the incoming competitor is running 200 meters or less in lanes, will be 30 meters long on a 200-meter track. There were a lot of collisions last year as we moved from 30-meter zones back to 20-meter zones. Why aren't we using 30-meter zones for the 4x200 and first 2 exchanges of the SMR?
Well, that is part of the indoor committee that made that decision. I was on the rules committee nationally, and that was discussed. It is the decision of the committee of the association that can decide that, a 30-meter zone or a 20-meter zone. We know for tracks that are under 200 meters, it is a 20-meter zone is just safer because a 30-meter zone takes up more of the track. But on a 200-meter track, a 30-meter zone or a 20-meter zone can be used. And the indoor committee decided to keep it at a 20-meter zone. So I don't know if Henry, if you or Don can give the reasoning why that decision was made.
Unmute, Don.
I'm trying to remember why that transpired, but it was a very unanimous decision. And I was part of it, Yvonne, that it's just harder for the officials to see a 30-meter exchange zone also. Was that part of the rationale? Do you remember?
Well, I unfortunately was not at that meeting, but
Okay.
it's certainly the officials are, of course, very capable of officiating any zone, whether it's a 20-meter zone or a 30-meter zone. So it wouldn't be an official situation.
Yeah, I wish I could remember the rationale that the coaches had. Maybe Henry, the person who submitted that question, maybe we can get an email or find out what school that is and get back to that person and give, I'd be happy to do that. I know that we'll see some of the coaches on Wednesday, and we can get a more definitive answer for.
Yeah, definitely. Dale, if you email me, we can get you a better answer for that. All right. Sure. Please do that. Any other questions? And again, we'll have time at the end for more questions if you think of them. So if you can't think of a question right now, don't worry about it. And again, same thing. You can feel free to email me. I'll put my email at the end of this so you can see it in the chat. So if you have any questions, if you think about it, feel free to do so. All right. So we're going to transition now to Ronette, who is our liaison with athletic.net, to go over some very important points. Take it away, Ron.
Thank you, Henry. as I enter my third year of consulting for the CIAC in use of AthleticNet, I just want to commend um, all the coaches who have improved their use of the tool each indoor season. I know it's a learning experience, but from what I've seen as I look at the entries and respond to any questions, all the coaches are doing a great job of getting their entries in and their athletes going in terms of registering for the championship meets. We're going to take a quick look at a little presentation I have. Okay. Again, we're going to be covering using AthleticNet for the 2025 indoor season. A couple things we'll go over: an introduction of it, points of emphasis, some online help for you, a quick summary, and then we'll do a Q&A as well. The packet that's been posted on the CIAC Indoor Track and Field website contains the instructions, all the instructions you need for the continued use of AthleticNet for all your entries for the CIAC class, as well as the Open Championships. An AthleticNet invitation will be extended to each boys and girls team in their 2025 indoor season calendar in AthleticNet. That will be based on their assigned class championship meet that has been determined by the CIAC, that is posted on the CIAC indoor site. And just as a quick reminder, if you wish your smaller division team to move up to a higher division to keep both teams in the same class, then your request must be submitted by this Friday, December 6th, to both the CIAC and the two meet directors involved. Points of emphasis, just really, if you're new or if you're continuing from last year or previous season, just remember to establish a coach and AD account for your team account in AthleticNet. Just make sure that it's up to date. If you have coaches who are not on the or on your part of your coaching team anymore, you can remove them as well. Second point is probably more important, is that you're to update your team rosters in AthleticNet so that the names and grades and gender exactly match your eligibility roster that you send into the CIAC. We don't like to see use of nicknames that don't that maybe are not posted on the CIAC eligibility roster. And again, it just makes it easier as you go from meet to meet and to take a look at the results as you're entering your athletes into the CIAC championship or division meets. Your entries, verifiable entries on AthleticNet, you can use official meet results between December 19th, Thursday, and noon on when the entries close, noon on February 11th, a Tuesday. Note that the entries must equal or better the posted class standards for each event. You won't be able to enter an athlete in terms of one of the newer features that AthleticNet added last year. It worked very well. So only those athletes who have a qualified time or throw or height will be allowed to be entered into the division meet. The fifth item, enter your probable relay competitors, but note that the official competitors are the ones declared at the class meets using the relay declaration sheets that are at the class meet. The other thing that has come up, and we've been working through it very well, is for distance event entries. It's spelled out very succinctly in the packet. I didn't put it on here because it is in the packet for the additional directions. But for distance event entries for the 16 and 3200 meter, for the 1600 meter, you can certainly use a 1600-meter time, a 1500-meter time, or a 1 mile time as you know, as stated within the packet for the qualifying time. Or for the 3200, you can enter a 3200-meter time, a 3000-meter, or a 2 mile time. That meets the standard. Under no circumstances, again, should a coach be converting performances to a 1600 or a 3200-meter time. For coaches who are new or don't remember, there are separate entries or event entries if you're going to do a 1600 time, a 1 mile time, or a 1500-meter time, or if you're going to enter a 3200-meter time, there's another entry line for a 3000-meter or the 2 mile entry time. So the biggest issue that we have, and we've had it over the past 2 years, is that a coach will put in the same athlete in the 1600-meter, and then if the athlete ran the 1 mile, they'll put them in the 1 mile. The coach must enter them in in only one of the events, whether it's a 1600-meter or a 1 mile or a 1500. They should not enter that same athlete in more than one event. It is up to the coach to decide which of those performances are the fastest before entering the athlete into the 1600, 3200, or the optional event. And again, that's all spelled out when we do go through the event entries. If there is an issue, a coach is notified by email that an athlete is entered in multiple, that they must remove them, or else that the athlete will be stricken out. The final thing is that you will note that as entries are reviewed on a timely basis, that you'll see either an accepted green dot or rejected red dot. There's plenty of online help in AthleticNet. Again, the indoor track and field packet has the entry policies. There's AthleticNet tutorials for the indoor track and field teams. That's part of the packet. It's also posted on all the division championship meets. There's a link. There's the PDF that is sitting out there. Also, if you have a specific question for AthleticNet, at the bottom of every page, there is a AthleticNet questions link that you can contact the AthleticNet management. They will usually respond within 48 hours as they go through different periods during the season where they're busy. You may have to wait longer than that. We've been quite fortunate in Connecticut that most, if not, I can't say all our meets, but most of the meets within Connecticut, they do use AthleticNet, so the results are loaded back to AthleticNet. But if your meet that you attend uses another system for entries and results, then what you need to do is make a request to AthleticNet about how to contact that meet director so that those entries outside of AthleticNet can get transferred over to AthleticNet. So we have several online help options for you. So in summary, just carefully review the packet. There's on pages 4, 5, and 6, just take a look at the packet. And again, if you have any questions, certainly direct them to Henry. And then if he can't answer them, then he'll forward them to me. Again, make sure that you prepare for the season with your, updating your coaches and team account, and make sure that your roster is as accurate as possible, as early as possible. The next to last is only use official completed meet results on AthleticNet for our class meet entries. And then if you have any issues, of course, use the online help options. if you can't get any satisfaction from that, then definitely contact Henry about that. And then that's it. So Henry, I'm going to give it back to you if you want to moderate or.
Thank you. Sure. At this time, again, it's our portion of the program here. If you have any questions, please put them on the chat, and somebody on our panel will be very happy to answer your questions. So for meets not using a net, please confirm the process for pulling these into a net again, i.e.
Yeah.
East Coast Invitational.
Yeah, the easiest thing to do is contact the meet director and ask them to get that loaded to Athletic Net. If you cannot get satisfaction within a timely response from the meet director, then you can use the contact us button in Athletic Net and then just point out where you see the official results and have Athletic Net pull those results in for you. And they will pull in the entire meet. Does that help?
Yep. Step back. Thank you, Ron.
While we're waiting to see if there's other questions, I might emphasize one of the points that Ron made, and that's asking coaches, especially if you're new, take a look in the packet at the relay declaration sheet and become familiar with that before you get to the meet. Whether you're a new coach or an experienced coach, we would encourage you to utilize all 8 lines on that relay declaration sheet. It will be helpful to you and to meet management in terms of keeping eligibility and decreasing any chances for a disqualification. So we put that in the packet for a reason. So take a look at the relay declaration sheet, please.
Just another question in the chat. What is the status of the renovations at Hill House? I was there about a month ago. They're going to start their renovations after the season, so they're going to do some work for the track so that it can be ready for their track season. Okay, I'll give it another minute to see if we have any other questions. Okay. All right. So with that being said, again, if there are no other questions at this moment, I'd like to thank everyone who attended the meeting. Again, I put my email in the chat. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I will definitely, if I cannot answer it, I will definitely direct it to the right person that will answer the question for you. Again, I reiterate, please have a great start to your season. Again, please tell your student athletes to work as hard as you can. You guys, of course, do a great job of representing your schools and obviously representing Connecticut as a whole in this great sport. So again, I thank you for what you do. Thank your student athletes for what they do. And again, continue to work them hard as best you can. And we'll see you out there on the track. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, Henry.
Have a good season, folks.